Hello guys, my name is Khant Zaw. My name sounds a bit weird because I'm from Burma. And I'm a university student here. I'm currently, I'm sort of graduating and doing my research here a bit, and I'm working on some library stuff and data related stuff. I come from C++ background, but I got to framework not so long ago, and I'm sort of like, yeah, I'm really experienced with Python, but I'm trying to get better at it. So I just want to share how I've I've worked with Robotframework in my work. So I just wanted to share my experience with you guys, and if you guys have any feedbacks or questions, feel free to throw it around. Yeah, and this is my GitHub. Yeah, you guys can go and look at my crappy codes and everything. Before going to Robotframework, I want to talk a little bit about acceptance testing, and yeah. So if you guys have worked in the production, and I'm sure you have, you guys would probably be familiar with acceptance testing and a lot of things that come with it. It's the process which is used to determine acceptability of the system. So before you deliver it to the customer and sort of something fails, and that happens a lot because we have to roll back, and if you don't want to go through that mess to do acceptance testing, because your boss will probably eat you out if you do that. Yeah, so we have to go through this general processes, and today we'll talk about doing it with Robotframework. So it's sort of used to determine if it fits the business prerequisite and if it's good enough for delivery to the customer. So yeah, it's not a lot, but yeah. So there's this difference between a UAT, user acceptance testing, and unit testing. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it as well, but I just want to get into that a little bit. So like testing of the individual unit, you sort of write the code and you write a method in a class. You have to test it out if it works and everything sometimes you use mock functions, and yeah, there's sort of different libraries for that as well. Yeah, so functional testing is different though. You are testing the functionality of the application. In practice with the web apps, you can do it manually. You can go and click around and see if your apps works and see if everything is good. Or you could do it automatically using Robotframework, right? Test cases, and then it sort of comes back together in one concise way. So you could keep reusing the test cases, and that's the philosophy behind it. And that's pretty good because pretty cool because you don't need to you don't need to find one guy to look at all of your web applications. You sort of don't need to go through anything at all. Just write very concisely, and then you can keep reusing them. It sort of becomes a very wonderful thing after you've written many deliverables. You will know that it's a pretty good thing. You don't have to go through that, excuse my language, pain in the ass process of keep testing same thing manually. Yeah, so that's sort of why I like Robotframework, and it's with Python. So yeah. So it's only done after the phases of following testings: unit testing, integration testing, system testing. So it's like the final step before it reaches the customer. It's sort of scary, but because then you'll probably deliver a very something that's not about something that's very buggy, or yeah, it doesn't work. If it breaks, you have to go back, and it will ruin your Friday night. You can't go out anymore. Yeah, so it's important too. And it's done after all the testing phases. So another thing is that it's done from the perspective of the user, not from the side of the developer and everything, because it goes on the production. And yeah, so you sort of have to find this cosmetic way of looking at it. You have to go to the GUI yourself, or you could use the Robotframework and just sort of watch the machine does it. So it's done in the GUI side, and it's only done to make sure that the user can use what they are meant to use. Yeah. So getting into Robotframework a little bit, it's a very small thing. You can download it using pip. Yeah, you can also use the API interfaces. And so there are a massive amount of libraries available. It's open source. That's why it's very interesting. That's what makes it interesting. So it uses Selenium. Of course, it uses Selenium because it's sort of go through, generally I'm talking about web testing here. So Selenium driver and everything to route through different selectors and paths to sort of go through the functionality of your web app. or a page that you simply want to test. It's also keyword-driven testing. I'm going to get into it. It's based on Gherkin-style language. That means that it's very understandable. If you write a Robotframework test case, like you're about to understand it. If you write it very concisely, everybody who reads your code and will understand it, and they will have no question about it. But it also kind of come back to this, like it could create. You could also if you keep writing the test cases again and again, and you don't sort of refactor it again. I don't know if it's the right word, but if you don't refactor it, then you will end up with a bunch of test cases that you can use, and you will have no idea how to handle it. So it's also important to write it concisely and everything. So Gherkin style, so it basically means it's very stable. It's a keyword-based language, and there are definitions for every keyword that you will define for each test cases. I'll go into that. If you are testing a web app, then it uses Robotframework uses ASP.NET, CSS, IDs, classes, etc. So yeah, it's very simple. You just if you elements around the web, you can sort of route your Robotframework test cases through it, and then you can see if it fails or if it passes. Yeah, it's a very smooth thing. Although it takes quite because since it's using the WebDriver on one it have to open up this different browser window and to route the app, and it's like a third-party thing. So yeah, it takes some time. And it is open source and runs on Python, because it's a Java virtual machine but with Python. Yeah, and Iron Python. And it have a very active community and a GitHub code base which is open, so you can look through it. And it's also it's very resolving. Where you have a problem, you go post it there and they'll probably reply to you. And also, it's sort of getting more popular nowadays, since a lot of web applications based frameworks are coming out. So they probably Robotframework. It's also free, so yeah. In that acceptance test-driven environment, framework is popular for its agility, easy to use, and multiple interface supports. It even supports Jenkins, and it have a plugin for a lot of things. Jenkins, I think you can use it with Eclipse. Both of the framework. So also the Robotframework work on the browsers using web drivers like Gecko, etc. So as I have mentioned back then, it tests the static pages using the CSS spats and everything. Another amazing thing about it supports native OS testing, which means you can sort of call the functionality of commands from your computer and everything. If you, of course, import that library while you're writing that test case, so you can sort of tell your computer to wait for 5 seconds or sleep or change directory if you want to do that. I haven't seen any cases where I need to change directory, but Also, you can even test your databases if you want. Sort of see if your database is responding, or if you can sort of insert something in a certain table to see if it's working and everything. Also, many other procedural testing with different libraries. I'm going to show a little demo with Robotframework using the D version and the command version. So it's initially developed by Nokia. It's very interesting. That's why it's probably minimalistic and very useful in many ways. It's also used by many other different companies with a lot of fundings from third-party, and that's what make it available for free. So I think it's still developed by Nokia. It's like a head, but a lot of third-party contributors come on GitHub and they contribute their codes and everything. So good thing. So these are the libraries that I want to point out. I hope you guys see it. There's even a library for Android phones and stuff. You can sort of use the library to test the Android app, archive library, database library. There's a library for CNC, milling. I don't know why we would need that, but there's a fake library for test data generator, HTTP libraries. I most of the library. I have only used like the web drivers to test the web app. That's where I come from. Yeah, if you're good with that, you can probably write your own script using Java or Python, although it's not going to be really productive. If you have like situation where you cannot really afford writing your own scripts, then you should do it. But if you could, then you should stick to the Gherkin, because it's very easy and like it's sort of very convenient for other people, for new persons coming onto the team and testing it out later. Yeah. So here's like the sort of installations, stuff that you would need to run the robot framework. We only need Python 2.7. You can also run it with Python 3, but the thing is, if you want to run the IDE version of it, the graphical version of it, then if you want to run the IDE version of it, it won't work on the Python 3. Also, you need WH Python for that, and it works with this weird 2.8.12 version. And so it only works with 32-bit only. It's very selective if you work with IDE. But if you're comfortable with the command line and everything, it's very good. Like it works on every version of Python, and you don't need WH Python. Yeah, if you have pip or easy install, that makes it easier because you sort of need this like different pip installation where you can isolate the environment variables for installation that you're going to make. Like Pigment, for example, it's used to highlight the synthesis of the test cases that you're going to write. So you don't want to pollute your globals for that. So you need a very isolated for it, and that's why I'm using virtual env and virtual environment wrapper for Windows. Why am I using the wrapper? Because it makes life a lot easier, and yeah, you can probably like get done with your work a lot faster. So yeah, it's the productivity that we're talking about. Also, yeah, Robotframework, you need to download it using pip. Yeah. And web drivers for Chrome, it's Chrome driver. For Firefox, it's Gherkin. Both of them work. I prefer Chrome and Firefox over Chrome because it sort of it's good and just like Firefox, yeah. And Selenium 2 library, I think they changed the name of the library now. It's just Selenium library. It's updated to sort of like the latest version every now and then. Back then, it only works with Selenium 2 library, which is like the latest version. Now I think it's got updated. And a machine to run. If you're doing front-end testing and functional testing, it's not like unit testing takes very short amount of time. But for functional testing and front-end testing, it takes quite a bit of time, and it also takes the whole machine. It's very it gets like hot because you're running like a lot of functionalities on the front-end version of your computer. So the browser is sort of like generally going through all those selectors and everything, clicking on them virtually, and drivers get loaded into the memory and everything, so the computer gets a bit hot. That's what you need. You either get a separate machine to run, or you don't do any work while you're doing it. That's why we sort of like whenever we deliver products into the production thing, I have to do it on like Friday evening, which is such it makes my night like miserable, and I sort of like miss out this TGIF thing. But you do it on Friday evening, you do it once, you do it right, then get delivered, then you get to go home very easily, or else so that's why I keep my machine clean and I don't do any coding or anything like that while I'm doing the Robotframework test cases. Yeah. So installation is very easy. You just sort of say pip install. If you have Python and all those packages, you say pip install Robotframework, and it will install the Robotframework for you. And then pip install Selenium library, Robotframework Selenium library. That will sort of like integrate the library for Robotframework. And then Robotframework like Robotframework IDE. It will give you like the visual version of the framework and everything. Pigment is like important because it can sort of like highlight the synthesis and everything, which you guys will see in a minute. And yeah, so the synthesis is very like, if you want to go to like CLI version and just want to run the test case, it's very simple. You just say robot and like path to the test case. Like, yeah, you just sort of write the path and like .robot, and you just run it. It will work. And back then we didn't have like this robot just say Python -m robot and then test.robot, which will sort of look at keywords and everything, compile it into the Python version, which will be run by Python. And it's, for the Python 3, it's sort of like the same thing. So I sort of wanted to get into the keyword Gherkin. So Gherkin, in the Gherkin language, like whenever you write something, you say given this condition, and when this happened and this happened, then it's successful. And then the condition always ends with an and or something like that. So it's sort of like the syntax. You don't need to use it, like it's not very restrictive. It's not really a constraint either. But it sort of like makes it clear to the person who's reading your test cases, like, oh, okay, I know what's happening now. Log page is going to open, and when user clicks on it to enter the username and enter password, login should be successful. And then tear down test basically mean you're going to tear down the whole test thing. It's just going to close the browser and everything if the test passes. Yeah. There are some tips that I want to share with you guys. Just if you don't want to pollute your globals and everything, just keep like your required package in the requirements.txt or sort of like a test file, and then use pip install -r. Yeah. Globals, just isolate everything. Just put it in the virtual environment, whichever sort of like you prefer, but I use virtual env. Yeah. Don't pollute your globals. It's going to like make your life messy if you were to, work on the production environment and we want to work on a different thing. Test cases are like not the thing that you work on every day. It's just a simple testing thing. So, and keep a sheet. Oh, sorry. Find an efficient way to kill a gecko after the test, because it's important. Gecko drivers and Chrome drivers, it doesn't generally go away after your test is done. They just remain. If you go into your test manager, you will see them. So my suggestion, if you're in Windows, then you have to probably write a bash script. Yeah, you have to probably write a bash script to kill all of your processes after you're done, because you can do like sort of like multiple tests at some time. And so yeah, write a simple bash script, and like Robotframework takes screenshots after all of the tests are done. Like each time the tests are done, and if passes or it fails, it takes a screenshot of the screen. So you also have to write a simple script to delete all of the screenshots at one point. Yeah, those little things you have to keep in mind if you want to do the testing very efficiently. Keep a record sheet, because that's a good thing that you can show your boss that it passed when you were doing it. Also sort of like give you keep track of everything that happened during the test. For example, you might be missing an element or someone in the front end changed like the CSS selector or class ID or something like that might mess up your test. So you want to keep a record of everything that happens while testing. Even if you change it and it doesn't matter, so that you can show your boss that this happened, but the test passed, and it can come back and bite you in the ass. Yeah. Pass means bug-free. Your criteria could be complete, but it doesn't guarantee usability. It happens. Yeah, it happens once. Like the test sort of passed because while we wrote the test, we wrote it very carelessly. So it's like clicking the button, but it doesn't know what happens on the screen and everything. We didn't keep track. It just like sort of show error messages. But we ended when we click the button, sort of stuff like that. We can just presume that, okay, this test passed and it's deliverable. No, it's not like that. Sometimes it doesn't mean it means that you just written a good test case, but your code is not deliverable. Yeah. So while I was talking about the record sheet, it looks something like this, with the one that we used at the office, but this one I got, yeah. So you can see the scope, expected results, and if your testing meet expected results, then yeah, you can deliver it to the customer or to the production. That's why I like Robotframework. Another reason, they have a very detailed report. Even the web drivers produce a very good log report. And if you're sort of like into the Python, the API and everything, you can sort of like determine which routes does the log go and everything. And you can also customize it very well. So the log reports are good, and if the test fails, if you like the detailed reason of why it fails and where it fails, and the time time and everything. So it's sort of like done very well. Yeah, I'm gonna get to you guys in a while. Yeah. So this is how framework operates. There's going to be a test data, and then the data that you're going to use to test the app that you're going to test, and then the robot framework, and then you're going to use the library, test library, and yeah. And here's the test tool, and here's the system and the test. This image will sort of like make it more clear. Yeah. See, here you have like Selenium library, database library. So it has a lot of libraries, so I can't even remember sometime. So if you want to test the database, then it will remote procedural call to the database, and it will do anything that you wanted to do, like inserting a value or check if the table exists, or check if like the database responds or something like that. If it's a Selenium library, yeah, it'll make a TCP/IP connection to using the Selenium server. It will connect to the web server using HTTP. It will sort of create its own isolated environment in the browser, and it will test your app or whatever you want to test. Yeah. Here you write the test implementation test suits like it. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Talking about the style, there are some things that I want to make sure that you guys know after if you want to start writing robot framework, which is yeah. So in the settings, we declare libraries and everything, and some sort of the tweaks that we want to make during the test case. Documentation is like just basically documenting the test case. Variables, just variable assignment. Test cases are like keyword. So first, you just define the keyword to make sure that it works. In the keyword, you'd use the inbuilt library functions and everything, and then you sort of use the test cases to call those keyword again and make a definition so that it's readable and it's deployable for the test scenario. So I want to show a quick demo. Yeah. So this is like a robot framework IDE. Hope you guys can see it. It's a bit blurry. But when you write something like this, it's yeah, you declare the library here, and in the library, I've used Selenium library and the built-in library. Built in just like using wait, sleep, and stuff like that, some simple operators that you want to use. Selenium library for the web testing. Yeah, you can sort of see my temporary password here, it doesn't matter. I'm going to run this and show it to you guys how it works. It's very simple. Login page is open. User clicks on the login link to enter username and password. And you just like sleep for 10 seconds, click on this element, and for another 8 seconds. I want to add quickly to this. Sleep generally not good. Use some other conditions. I don't know what. Just like it's based on your situation as well. Like, but don't use sleep. It just avoid it. I'm just doing this for the demo. Also, login should be successful. A page containing like a final watch, which I define here. AWS services. If the conditions are met, then it's going to be it's going to be a pass. If it doesn't, it's going to be a fail. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, sort of fill very quickly. To work very differently when I'm showing it to people. So just hang on for a while. Here you can see my files, and this test robot, the one I have like the one up here. So yeah, I'm just going to run it very quick using robot. Yeah. So a browser will pops up, and it's sort of controlled by the instance of Firefox, controlled by the Gecko driver, and yeah, it goes into the like it just logs in. But so there's like some security problem with AWS, so it's not going to type the password. I have to do it manually, which is good considering it's a demo. So yeah, it will sort of go through the AWS. The connection is taking a while. Here you can see a little indication that it's yeah. Then it waits and sleeps for, then it logs in, and boom, we're in. It sort of like, it goes through all the condition, and here you can see the keyword AWS services. It have met the condition, so it will like keep looking for the keyword. If the robot framework found the keyword, then it will say the test have passed. It's a quick report of how it generates report and everything. So hold on. Log. This is it will show you like the execution log and how it passed and how it filled time elapsed. This is a report. So that's how you run through the command. I want you guys to use the IDE version of it, because as you guys have seen, like it sort of fails trying to do it. So just use CLI version is good. There are a lot of arguments that you can do, like saying, okay, I want this timestamp to be there. I want to use this tag, which you can sort of do later if you got into it like really seriously. This is the thing that I generally talk about, declaring the libraries here, and declaring the variables here. It's sort of useless to hide the password now, since you guys have seen it. It's very data-driven, could build a single base variable file for test case. So when you're coming together as a team and working with like 5 developers, and you want them to build their own test cases after each development, after each sprint and stuff like that, you could build a single base variable file and use that as a data file, and then like parse it into the command line. And we have used a VC with a PyCharm or something like that back then. It sort of works. If you refactor it and abstract it somehow, like in a way, it's like building your own library. It's very good. You will come after all the hard and painful processes. You'll have a very concise test case. Like you won't have to build a ground up test case every Friday. Your life would be good after you put in a little bit more work. Clear and concise definition make it easier to test every time, since there's no need to rewrite the cases. So if you're a guy who like to play things dangerously, and who like to sort of do your own script and everything, methods are keywords. So you can sort of import the Robotframework API. Here you can see like you can define your own keyword, using the syntax. And here you can like see that I have to find like my own keyword using definition my keywords. It sort of become a keyword. So methods are generally keyword API. You can also define the tags, and you can the functions what you want to do if the keywords are being called. I have a script, but also we can that's it. We can get into the template, and you can sort of include the library, to make sure you want to keep things in your own pace. If you want to write something that will calculate stuff and like spit it out as a value, but you don't want to do it using Robotframeworks inbuilt library, but you want to do it using your own way, your own script, and your own keywords, you can do it. There are a lot of API for that too. Or if you don't like API, you can just sort of import your own. Python, and then like return the value and parse it into Python again. Sort of talk, and hope you guys like it. Any questions?
Thank you. I'm not sure we've got time for questions. It's gone over a little bit.